All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a massive question, something that really gets at the heart of morality. Is forgiveness always possible? We're going to dive into a really old text that gives an answer that's, well, it's pretty surprising and honestly feels very relevant for today.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Is there some mistake, some action that's just unforgivable? A line that once you cross it, you can never go back? It's a heavy thought, for sure. But the answer we're about to dig into is, well, it's challenging, but it's also incredibly hopeful. So let's get into it.
Okay, so our starting point for all this is the Great Parinirvana Sutra. This is a really foundational Buddhist text. And right in there, the Buddha lays out what are basically considered the most spiritually devastating things a person could ever do.
And right away, you can see the stakes are just incredibly high. We're not talking about little white lies or minor mistakes here. I mean, the 5 heinous sins include things like killing your own mother or father, or completely destroying a spiritual community. And then there's slandering the true Dharma, which is basically attacking the sacred teachings themselves. So in this framework, these aren't just bad moves. They're seen as total spiritual catastrophes.
And here's the crucial part. These acts aren't just seen as bad, they're called irreversible. The spiritual weight, the karma, is so heavy that a simple "I'm sorry" just doesn't cut it. The idea is that these actions literally sever your connection to the path of enlightenment. It's like a spiritual point of no return. Or is it?
So just when everything seems totally hopeless, the sutra pulls a fast one. It introduces this incredible twist. It reveals that there is one powerful exception, a path back even for those who seem completely and utterly lost.
And this is the turning point. It's so cool. So on one hand, you've got the rule breaker, totally trapped by what they've done. On the other, you have the redeemed person. But get this, the sin itself hasn't magically disappeared. The only difference, the one thing that's been added, is this thing called a Dharma-protecting mind. And that one thing, it changes absolutely everything.
Now, to explain just how powerful this idea is, the sutra gives us this beautiful analogy. It says this Dharma-protecting mind is like the sun coming up in the morning. Think about it. The sun doesn't argue with the dark. It doesn't bargain with it. It just rises. And by rising, it completely overwhelms and gets rid of the darkness, no matter how long it's been there or how deep it is.
And then there's this story, this other analogy, that's just, wow, it's really moving. It's about a woman who's described as having a wicked nature. She's on the run with her child, and they get to a raging river. Now, instead of trying to save herself, she just holds on tight to her child, and sadly, they both perish. But in that one final moment, that single, pure, selfless act of love was so powerful that it completely rewrote her karma. It overrode all her past evils and actually earned her a heavenly rebirth. It's an amazing example of how one single, powerful state of mind can totally change your destiny. Okay, so what is this thing? This Dharma-protecting mind, or to use the Vietnamese term, Tam Ho Phap. What does that even mean? Because this is the key. This is the thing that unlocks what seems like an impossible redemption. So let's break it down.
All right, so at its very core, it's a profound commitment, but it's an active one. This isn't just about passively believing something. It's about having a powerful, driving intention to uphold, to preserve, and to actually build the true Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, both inside yourself and for other people.
So, a profound commitment. That sounds great, right? But it's a bit abstract. How do you actually do that? How do you build it? Well, the commentary on the sutra gets really practical here. It lays out a super clear 2-step process. Okay, so step 1, you build it in yourself. This means, upholding the precepts, practicing meditation, really digging in and understanding cause and effect, until the Dharma isn't just something you know, it's part of who you are. It becomes second nature. But it doesn't stop there. That's only half of it. Step 2 is to build it in others. You have to actively help other people learn and understand the Dharma. The goal is to become what they call a good spiritual friend. And the text makes a big point of this. Even helping one person understand, That's a huge deal. That makes you a protector of the Dharma.
And, this brings us to what might be the most fascinating part of all this. Because if you're going to help other people, you first have to really get how these teachings work. And this right here, this is like the secret key to unlocking not just this text, but pretty much all spiritual texts.
So, you ever read spiritual texts and think, wait a minute, this part seems to contradict that part? Well, this insight solves that puzzle. The answer is that the Buddha wasn't giving a one-size-fits-all lecture. Every teaching was tailored specifically for the audience. He taught based on what a person was missing, what they could actually handle hearing, and what their spiritual level was. So, for example, for someone who lacks compassion, he'd only teach about compassion. For an arrogant crowd, he'd wait for them to leave before sharing the deeper stuff. The takeaway here is huge. Just reading the words isn't enough. You have to understand who the words were for.
And this is where it all comes full circle, right? To have that Dharma protecting mind, you have to really, truly understand the Dharma. And that understanding, it's not just for your own benefit. It's what gives you the ability to see other people clearly, to understand what they need, and to help them accurately. That's what makes you a good spiritual friend.
So what we're left with is this really powerful shift in perspective. It tells us that redemption isn't about trying to erase the past. You can't. It's about building a better future. And that starts with a powerful commitment right here, in the present moment. It's not about being perfect, it's about the direction you're heading. So the question to leave you with is a personal one. What true Dharma, what piece of wisdom or compassion could you start building inside yourself, starting today?